Hi guys, welcome back to Queen G's Recipes, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make my double chocolate bundt cake. Now first of all, you're going to be needing a 12 cup or larger bundt pan. And in the bundt pan we won't be spraying butter or Pam. Today we'll be doing it differently. I have put in here 2 tablespoons of melted butter and 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. Also, you will be needing, which is what we'll be using for the pan. You'll also be needing 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1/8 teaspoon of salt. You'll also be needing 3/4 cup of freshly brewed coffee. As you can see, mine is still steaming because you're going to need it to be hot. You'll also be needing 6 eggs. I'm using large eggs. Here I have 1 cup of sugar and 1 cup of brown sugar. In here I have 8 ounces. I measured out 8 ounces. I weighed out 8 ounces of chocolate chips. I'm using semi-sweet, but you can use whatever chocolate you like. And here I have 3/4 cup of softened butter. Now mine is melting a bit because I left it on my stove top while my oven was on, and that's why you'll see it's partially melted. And in here we have 1/2 cup of cocoa powder, and here we have 3/4 cup of sour cream. So let's move on to the next step. Okay, so in a large measuring cup or in a bowl, whatever you have, we're going to place our hot brewed coffee. And then we're going to add in our cocoa powder. And our chocolate chips. And we're just going to give it a quick little mix and let it melt in with the coffee. Okay, so we can put it aside now for a few minutes, and then we'll go back to give it a quick little whisk, and we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so now we're going to take our paste that we made, which was the 2 tablespoons of melted butter and 2 tablespoons of cocoa, and we're going to brush it on with a brush. All around the pan. I'm going to continue on brushing, and then we'll go on to the next step. Okay, so there you are. That's what the pan should look like after coating it with the chocolate and butter paste. Now we're just going to set this aside, and we're going to bring back our other chocolate mixture that we were working on. Okay, so into that mixture, which is the coffee and the chocolate mixture we first worked on, we are going to give it a whisk. As you can see, it's nicely melted. And we're going to add in our sour cream. And we're going to give that a nice little whisk, and then we're going to set it aside again until we need it. Okay, so now we'll just set this aside and we'll work on the remaining cake batter. Now into our standing mixer, we're going to add in our softened butter and both of our sugars. Now if you don't have a standing mixer, it's no problem. You can use a handheld mixer or you can use a whisk. Whatever you have on hand is perfectly fine. And we're going to give those two a quick mix for about a minute or two, and then we'll add in our remaining ingredients. So now we're going to add in our eggs. And we're going to mix this for another minute or so. So this is what your batter should look like at this point after adding in our eggs. And now we're going to add in our vanilla extract. 1 to 2 teaspoons is good. Then we're just going to give it a quick mix just for a few seconds to incorporate it. Okay, so now we're going to just give our flour mixture just a little whisk here. Whoops. So it's all incorporated with our baking powder and salt. And then we're going to put in our flour mixture and our chocolate mixture at the same time, but in 2 additions. So what we'll do is we'll pour in some chocolate mixture, which is the coffee mixture. And then we'll pour in about half of the flour mixture. Then we'll give that a quick mix just for a few seconds till it's incorporated. Make sure you have your oven preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Just give your bowl a quick clean with the spatula just to take off any excessive batter on the edges. And we're going to pour in the rest of the flour and the rest of the chocolate. Now I'm just going to quickly scrape that with a spatula so we can get all of our chocolate out. So now that we have the remaining flour mixture and chocolate coffee mixture, we are just going to give it a quick whisk again, but just for a few seconds until it's incorporated, and then we're going to give it a nice whisk by hand with a spatula. Okay, so it was just a gentle mix with the standing mixer, and now I'm just going to give it a nice mix by hand with my spatula just to make sure we don't have any extra flour on the bottom. Okay, so now we're going to place our batter into our prepared Bundt pan, and we're going to be baking our cake for about 45 minutes. Okay guys, so here you have it. My cake was in the oven for exactly 55 minutes. Now make sure that you don't leave your cake in for less than 45 minutes or more than 55 minutes. Make sure you put a toothpick and check if it comes out clean, because if you overbake your cake, it'll become very crunchy and dry. So now we're going to let our cake cool off for about 10 minutes. Then we're going to invert the cake onto a plate or a platter, and we're going to move on to making our topping, which is going to be a thick chocolate ganache. Okay guys, so I let my cake cool off in the pan for about 15 minutes, actually for exactly 15 minutes. And before inverting it onto my platter, I just gently with a butter knife went around the edges to make sure everything was nice and loose from the pan. And that was it. And then I inverted it, and now I'm just going to continue to let it cool off for about half an hour to 45 minutes. And then we're going to make the chocolate ganache. So now for our chocolate ganache, what I have here is 2 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips and 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. So what I'm going to do is just simply pour this over my chocolate chips. And I'm going to put this into the microwave at 30-second intervals for a couple of minutes. I'll let you know exactly how long mine took to melt, but just until the chocolate chips are all nicely melted. So make sure at 30-second intervals you're giving it a nice mix with a little spatula or a whisk or spoon. Okay guys, so my chocolate ganache was in the microwave for exactly 2 minutes at 30-second intervals, and at every interval I was mixing and stirring, making sure the chocolate was melting nicely. So here you have it, a nice thick chocolate ganache. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover it with some plastic wrap, and I'm going to make sure the plastic wrap is actually covering and touching the chocolate. And I'm gonna set it aside for about half an hour to 45 minutes to cool off. And then we're gonna pour it over our cake. Okay guys, so my ganache has been cooling just on my counter covered with plastic wrap for exactly 45 minutes. And now, as you can see, the consistency is much thicker. So we're just gonna pour it over our cake now. Okay guys, so here you have it, our final product, our double chocolate bundt cake. Now, the ideal thing would be to wait at least an hour or so until the ganache is all set. Or what I'm gonna do is in an hour or two, I'm just gonna place it in the fridge. But right now, I'm gonna have to cut into it. I'm not gonna wait, so I can show you guys what it looks like inside. I can't even tell you guys how insanely good this tastes. It is so moist, so delicious, very chocolatey for those chocolate lovers. Now, I really enjoyed making this video, and I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. So don't forget to subscribe so you can see my future videos. And take care. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.